This program proudly brought to you by Centrebet. No other bookie offers a tote guarantee on your fixed odds bets.
Today we're at Denniston Park on the Mornington Peninsula. We're catching up with a young trainer who's certainly making waves here in Victoria. Today we're going to spend time with Jason Warren. As we look around, this is heaven for a horse.
Yeah, no, it's. I think they really like it here, and so do we.
Oh, I can no doubt about that. We're going to do a full tour of this amazing facility very shortly indeed. But let's talk about your background. Where did your love of horses first start?
Oh, Richo, I basically grew up as a lot of country kids do, going to pony club and you know, eventually into show jumping and eventing, camp drafting. You know, we had a crack at most things. So yeah, just happy to have a go at anything, and yeah, this is probably where it comes from. You're a country boy from Bega. Back when you were growing up, did you dream that you would end up being a full-time horse trainer? Well, I thought that once I started riding track work that I'd probably like to have a crack at it one day, and never did I sort of think that I'd be as busy as what I am. Absolutely. Tell us a bit about your background in the racing industry. Eliza Park's obviously one major milestone in your career. Take us through what you did at Eliza Park and your career there. Eliza Park was a good stepping stone for me. I learned a lot while I was there in as far as trading horses. I broke in a lot of horses there and also took horses overseas to Singapore, Macau and those places just, you know, to be sold, and met quite a few people that way. When I was at Eliza Park, I met Rob Ralston, who has been a huge help. It's probably not help's not probably the right word. He's been a great supporter of the stable. Yeah, he has. He's been a great supporter of me and believer in that I can do the job. And yeah, so. Tell us about your association with Hall of Fame trainer and Lee Freedman. You were with Lee for a couple of years. Tell us about that experience. Well, before I went to work for Lee, I was training in my own right. John Stewart and Rob Ralston gave me a couple of horses that they'd bred to train, and that sort of is where I started training, and I did that for a few years, and we had, you know, good few country winners and a city winner, and I just felt that I needed to do something to set myself separate from the other young blokes that were out there having a crack, and there's plenty of absolutely of them. So I went down and approached Lee and Anthony and said, look, I'd like to work for you guys as a foreman and basically have a break from training and learn a bit more about my craft. Yep. And it was an incredible year to spend with them, and yeah, well, I learned a lot. Were they at Caulfield then, or were they at Markdale then? No, they were at Markdale then, and they had 110 horses in full work, and was an incredible year. Freedman Brothers won just about every Premier Group 1 race that year. And was that the Mackay Divas sort of era? It was, Andretti and Golden era in their stable? Well, Benicio won the Derby, and Serenade Rose won the Oaks, and yeah, Mackay, you know, did everything that could have been asked of her, and she just looked, you know, unbeatable that year, which she was, and yeah, it was very exciting. So then eventually you got to a point where you said, you know what, I'm going to go out on my own. That must have been a hard decision. Obviously, you enjoy a regular wage, but you're a young guy with a young family, and it's time to have a go. Yeah, well, prior to going to work for Freedman's, I bought a property on Stumpy Gully Road, which is close by here, and I had that leased out the whole time I was there, and it came to the point where the property was up to lease, and whether I put somebody else in there, and then I was actually thinking about going to England and trying learning a bit more there. Right, but the property came up for lease, and Lee and Anthony sort of had 15 pre-trainers that they needed to place at that point, and so I sort of moved back in there and had 15 pre-trainers in work that day, and from there on I haven't looked back.
Who's the first nice horse that came to your stable?
Oh, look, probably Viking Turf Bell from Alex Cartel was probably my first multiple city winner.
Yeah.
I'd had city winners prior to that. She came to me in terrific order, and you know, right at the right time. She won a couple of races in town, and then went on to place in a Group 2 race over the spring, and that was a really big help for me, and as I was just sort of getting back in the swing of it.
Must have been a big decision to say, you know what, let's have a real go at the sport of kings and buy this amazing property.
Yeah, look, it wasn't a decision that we took lightly, that's for sure. We've had a big crack here, Yasmin and I, my wife. We've both put in, you know, as much as we had to put in to buy the property, and yeah, it's been a big move.
And how many horses do you actually have on the property at any one time?
We've got 42 stables in this barn, and we've got 10 stables just across the way, and I've got another 16 that I currently rent out to a guy that does all my horse breakers, Warren Diggles.
Yep.
He breaks in all my horses, and also outside clients as well, and yeah, it works well.
Well, mate, we're at the crucial part of the property, which is the training track, and it's magnificent training. How big is this training track?
It's pretty much 1,700 metres round to the winning post, which is just here.
Yep.
That's the sand, and we've got a 1,400 metre grass strip.
Yep.
And it starts round at the back, so we could probably say work over 1,000 metres, home 600, or whatever work we want to do, and just up a bit further, it goes back onto the sand where they you know, pull up.
And we look out there, and naturally we can't see the back of it, but in your hut you have the computer screens where everything films so that you can see the horses working down the back?
Yeah, well, we've basically got cameras set up all the way around, so obviously you can't see the back, like you said. We can see, I can clock horses off the screens.
Yep.
And obviously it's a lot better for safety as well. If someone was to come unstuck, we can be there in minutes.
I can imagine on a property like this, though, one of the challenges is trying to attract track work riders.
Look, I've been pretty lucky with the work riders that I've got. I've got, you know, a couple of the casual guys ride work at Mornington early, and then they come out here after that. I've got, you know, my full-time staff that are on a wage, and they ride for me all morning, starting at 6, and our last horses don't finish getting work till 11:30.
When we look out there, we also see paddocks where you've got horses spelling. You can obviously spell horses here, so you can keep horses here 24/7, 12 months a year.
Yeah, well, we've got 42 spelling paddocks in the middle, some smaller, you know, for individual spelling,
yeah.
and bigger paddocks where we can sort of double them up, and yeah, that we can do everything here.
Jace, explain to us, you are putting a Lonhro colt through the pool here. How often do they swim?
Look, this horse, he swims every day on his slow work. It's just to get a little bit extra work into them. We swim a lot of them. Most of the horses will swim on their slow days.
Yep.
And sometimes they'll swim twice, like we might swim them either before or after they work, and sometimes again in the afternoon.
And you find that gives great benefit not only in recovery but also fitness?
Yeah, it helps improve their fitness. Like, obviously you can't get a horse ready to race in a pool,
no.
But it's just a maintenance tool as much as anything.
And do they like it?
Well, they love it, actually, once they've had a couple of goes at it.
Does this just take a lot of maintenance, this pool?
Yeah, we've got quite a lot of maintenance on this. We've got quite an expensive filtering system in here, and We vacuum it daily.
And how many do you put through here on any given day?
Oh, we could swim, you know, up to 30 or so horses.
Right.
Yeah.
Your training philosophy, is it if you could align yourself with someone who is well known, have you grabbed ideas from everyone and added your own little flavour to it? How do you describe your training philosophy?
Oh, look, I basically model the way I train off the way Lee and Anthony train.
Yep.
With Markdale being very similar to this property, and you know the way they work their horses. Obviously, I speak to Pete Moody and Mick Price any chance I get, and even as far as before I bought this property, I was tossing up whether I took on some stables at Flemington.
Yeah.
And I spoke to Mark Kavanagh about that, and he's basically told me the ins and outs of Flemington, and I just sort of worked out that this sort of situation was going to suit me a lot more.
You've had some success with Glass of It. You've also had some success recently in City with Head North, but I suppose you're on the search, aren't you, for that really good horse that you need just to take you to the next level?
I think those couple of horses that you mentioned are improving type of horses. Buy good stallions, you know. I'm starting to get, you know, the Street Cry and these types of breeds that are coming through now. And Head North, I think, will be a really nice stayer this time in. And I've got 2-year-olds by really good size in Lonro and Stratum and Artie Schiller, and they're just nicely bred horses coming through, and I think in the next 6 and 12 months we'll see the result of that.
If you see a nice yearling, you're willing to throw them on the line and have a go at a horse?
Yeah, look, I've aimed up a bit this year. I've gone to the sales and bought the horses that I want to train and that I really like, and they've pretty much been snapped up as I've bought them. I own small shares in some of them. Most of the horses we train are owned by clients. I do buy a couple of trade horses each year.
What do you mean by trade horses?
Oh, just horses that we'll try and win a trial with and move them on to Singapore or Macau, or if they're good enough, Hong Kong.
Is there a particular type that you look for to try to do that?
Yeah, they've got to be obviously very good types. They've got to be quite correct and clean on X-ray. And most of all, they've got to have ability. Being
a horse trainer, being a horse guy, that's your specialty, but you've actually got to deal with owners, deal and attract owners, and actually run a business as well.
Yeah, look, I'm sort of still very green on the running of the business. I've certainly had to improve. Obviously, I'm a horseman, and running a business comes second, whereas that's where Yasmin is extremely important to the running of our businesses. She's a very successful operator of her own business. Before coming here, she was owned her own car yard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she runs the office and I run the stables.
Tell me, you've got 2 beautiful little daughters. You hope that they're part of this industry moving forward, or happy for Dad to slave it out and them go and do something else?
Oh, look, I'll just... they're that young, I wouldn't know what way they'll go. They're very keen on the horses at the moment. My 3.5-year-old daughter's got her own little pony here, and she rides it flat out round the place already. And
no way.
Yeah, and the other one loves to get on, and but they're very keen at this stage. So I'd imagine my girls will grow up doing pony club and shows as I did, and it's a great life.
This program proudly brought to you by Centrebet. No other bookie offers a tote guarantee on your fixed odds bets.